what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete, and guess what? I have one tuxedo-ready SUV for you. This is it right here. This is a 2023 Range Rover Velar. But before we get into this luxury spec, almost mid-size SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Range Rover, that's going to be the premium brand from Land Rover. Land Rover, we all know, the long-standing Defender, built such a reputation for vehicles that would basically go through just about anything. But when you see that Range Rover name, expect that extra 007 James Bond luxury, technology, and of course performance. Now with Range Rover, you could go big like the Range Rover Sport. You could go obviously with the new Range Rover, bringing that 3-row capability. But with this Velar, basically you're bringing some good size, but also a nice, sexy shape. Now, in this category of luxury SUV, there's some big competitors. One of them is going to be the BMW X5. So what I want to do is, I want to take a look at this 2023 Velar, see is it the better new luxury SUV to buy over the Beamer? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our 2023 Velar and find out. Right off the bat, the style. As soon as you see it, you know it's a Range Rover. And let me show you some of those details that will help point that out to you. Up front, you're gonna have full LED lighting, and they do something very unique. Not only with the LED headlights, the daytime running lamps, and your turn signals, it's this area right here with the DRLs. This is something that's unique to the brand, that when you see it going down the road, that's how you know automatically it's a Range Rover without even seeing the name. Now, as we drop our way down for 2023, they decided to take some bronze accents. I like the way they brought them to this lower corner area, which is a functional corner air curtain, but bringing the extra bronze on these horizontal slots just kind of gives it that little extra something sprinkled on top. Even the way that they take the front fascia and then extend it out, not only gives us some aerodynamic efficiency, but it does look really good. Now, as we come across that unique grille, it's got like a wavy chain pattern to it. It's a gunmetal metallic finish. So as we kind of zoom in, you can see that gunmetal gray finish to this whole grille area. You'll also notice that it's blocked off behind it. Those are active aero shutters. They will open and close to allow more or less air to come through the front grille area. Of course, we got the Land Rover badge and the Range Rover name, which I'm gonna zonk. And the reason why is I wish that they would take these badges and actually sink them into the hood to make it a little bit more aerodynamic friendly. Plus it would just look a little cleaner. Now, as we work our way down that same wavy chain design, there is a badge all the way down low, which I don't know why they put it all the way down here, but this is an R dynamic spec. We'll talk more about that and what that means in a few seconds here, but you have a little bit of metallic gray finish across the front splitter and a nice amount of ground clearance between the ground level, obviously, and the underside of this all-wheel drive luxury SUV. Now, as we rise up, a nice clean fold. You can see the metallic sparkle flake in that beautiful black paint job. And then everything else just has a nice clean flow to it. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. Check out these wheels, and I think people don't give wheels enough credit. A wheel can make or break you, and these wheels are definitely making it happen. I love the style, 22-inch wheel, multi-spoke design. You got the metallic, gunmetal metallic gray finish, some machined aluminum. You'll notice the large braking system behind it. Of course, we have adaptive dampers, all 4 corners. That's gonna adjust the suspension right from the driver's seat, depending on what mode you go into. And we have that long-standing all-wheel drive. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of the tire? You're basically looking at 265 on the width, 40 series sidewall on a 22-inch wheel, looking good with the black. Now, as we kind of rise up, you can see how that headlight housing just brings it nicely into the fender. And then up top, you also get a little bit of gloss black with the bronze and the Range Rover name. This is a design cue that is found on a lot of Land Rovers and Range Rovers, and where it basically comes from is in the early days of Land Rover, they used to have metal plates on the hood so that basically you could jump onto the hood. to get access to your cargo gear. Today, people have SUVs for all different uses, so they kind of bring that element of design, even though you're not going to jump on the hood of this Range Rover. At least, I don't think you are, and I'm sure Range Rover is hoping that you're not going to jump on the hood. Now, you'll notice with the trim, how it goes from the front fender into the front door with the bronze, just enough to where it looks tasteful. And then as we kind of come in, where that trim is, right above it, you'll notice the color matched mirror caps with our LED turn signals. Nice smoke design on the LED turn signals. Backing our way up, you'll see the size of this. Like I said, this competes against the Audi S5, also the BMW X5 as well. But nice flat roof, flush on the door handles. I love the way they do the door handles, nice and flush, really clean from front to back. And as we're working our way towards the rear, you got a good size quarter window. Love the way everything with this blacked out version is just super clean. Normally this area is gloss black, but because the whole vehicle is the same color, it just is very seamless. And then as we come around the back, very unique design. That's something that you're definitely not going to confuse this with any other European spec SUV. I love what they've done with the long roof spoiler. You got the LED third brake light blended in super clean. And then guess what they got? The wiper underneath, just the way I like it. So look at how clean that rear liftgate area is. No wiper to be seen. The Range Rover name, the Velar name, everything in metallic gray. There's our Land Rover badge. Like I said, Range Rover is the premium level of Land Rover. And then working our way all the way down, very simple, clean design with a little bit of silver. Of course, you're gonna have all your towing capability. And I do like the way it just kind of curves underneath very cleanly. No exhaust really visible or anything like that. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood of our Velar and see what's powering it. Guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Underneath the hood, there is a lot of plastic, not the best looking engine cover, so I am gonna zonk that. And what's cool though about the Velar is there's different engine options. On ours, it's gonna be the base engine. It's a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, putting out 247 horsepower, 269 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 7.1 seconds. Top speed around 135 miles per hour. It could tow up to, believe it or not, 5,300 pounds. And MPGs 20 in the city, 26 on the highway. And the vehicle itself weighs 4,130 pounds. So this really kind of showcases, like I said, that little smaller size. We're so used to showing these super size Range Rover and Land Rover SUVs. This one being a little bit smaller, just like the BMW X5. Perfect competition, but why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear if it makes any sound. Guys, I hope you have your spy kit ready with your X-ray glasses and your little pen that turns into a gun. We're inside this 2023 Velar. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've been looking for a new luxury SUV. I want something sporty. Everybody in my freaking neighborhood has a BMW or Mercedes-Benz. I was thinking maybe Audi, but I'm really liking this Range Rover. How much is it? MSRP, the way that you see this one spec'd, and it is a Dynamic S. So this is a Velar Dynamic S. You're looking at a price point of right around $75,000, but you do get those 22-inch wheels when you go Dynamic S. But let's see what else you get, especially when comparing it to the BMW X5, to the door panels. Like the way they have nice soft touch material. You got this diamond textured style going on, which is sort of like a wetsuit material. Very, very luxury, but also sporty at the same time. Massive silver door handle. We got the Meridian premium sound system, and I love that speaker grille cover. 12 speakers, very nice design. I am going to zonk the gloss black though in the middle section, especially around the switch gear for the window controls, but you do have contrast stitching on the armrest, And the door pocket is a good enough size for a full plate of bangers and mash and a bottle of tea to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, same thing. You got that nice diamond texture design, something different that you don't see very often, just a little bit of gloss black, and then you get to the infotainment side of things. Now what's cool is you can live out your James Bond dreams here because you have an 11.1 inch infotainment system screen, and what's great is, watch this, just like on a James Bond movie, you could actually tilt the screen whenever you want at any angle that you want. It's got the oil slick, the missile launchers, and the ejection seat. But we go back, of course you got your navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, looking out the back to see if anybody's following you. You do have good resolution, it's just not a very large image. I wish they would make that larger. That would have really helped, but the resolution is really clean. Go back in the park, we're right back where we started. Working our way down, another TFT, that thin filament transistor screen, real clear on the graphics. You could go into your different modes. Watch this, depending if you're being chased or you have to chase after the bad guys, if there's mud and ruts, we got you covered. You got the sand, if you're out in the Sahara, or if you just want to chill. Or if your things get twisty and you're on the Autobahn, you got to freaking put it into that dynamic mode that's basically sport. We have heated seats and ventilated seats, so don't worry about that. They got you covered there. And you got your dual climate controls, which is also very nice. And then we're right back where we started. Working our way down, this is going to control our 8-speed automatic transmission. A bit of gloss black, but the cool thing is, watch this. Dun, 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 dun. Cup holder hidden underneath the gloss black. Close it back up. Then we have another cup holder and a square cup holder. So I guess this is if you have like a juice box and you need to put that somewhere. That's where you put your juice box. You do have, whoops, spin it the right way, Land Rover. Should say Range Rover since technically this is a Range Rover. But you do have all your buttons. I just wish that there was a lid here. This kind of looks unfinished to me, especially for $75,000. So I am going to zonk that. But you do have that same soft neoprene material. And what's interesting is you could do this two separate ways. 1, 2, or you could do it together. Voila. Deep down inside, we have some nice felt lining, USB-C, USB-A, and you could probably fit, I would say, probably 4 Hope diamonds in there. So if you're trying to, or no, strike that. Let's go family jewels. You can keep your family jewels nice and safe without getting all scratched up. No guy wants to scratch his family jewels. Ouch. Close it up. Seats, leather, British cows. They move a little differently. They do have the stitching, nice soft touch all the way down. Pretty decent bolstering. You do, of course, have power seats for the passenger, power seats for the driver, and we have a full power one-touch panoramic sunroof with that sunshade. If you're wondering, why do you never open the sunshade all the way, Joe? Because it just takes too long for video purposes, but I promise it goes all the way back. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you where James Bond is going to be sitting, which means you could be sitting behind the wheel of this Velar. Come on over. All right, guys, business time, behind the wheel. You do get 3 memory seat settings, so if you have 2 other agents that you're working with, you can let them borrow your Velar. Down below, like I said, this is an R dynamic, so you're going to be able to get that nice little sill plate. And we do have an aluminum brake pedal and throttle pedal, but a sad dead pedal. I'm going to have to zonk that. That should be aluminum or something, not carpet, that's for sure. You have all your seat controls, easy to get to, within fingertip reach. And like I said, even when having that low, sexy roofline, I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. Steering wheel, nice 2-piece leather. That really brings up the feel of the interior. Stitching on the horn button with the Range Rover name. Some gloss black, which as you can see, has its fingerprints problem, so we are gonna have to zonk that, but you do have metal, not plastic, metal paddles to go up and down that 8-speed, tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then the dash, let me know what you think. You have an analog speedometer, analog tachometer, but some of it is digital, and then you have that rest of it is all digital in the center. Now I do like when you go into the different modes, it does change and it shows on the screen there, so that's a nice little touch, but I would like it to be all digital for $75,000. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But you know what? It's not just about the people sitting up front. Let's see what the back seat brings for your passengers in this Range Rover. All right, guys, backseat time in this Range Rover Velar. And it's very shocking because I thought I would be more cramped in here. It's not. Because the way they designed the interior, even with the panoramic roof, even with the lower style roof, your rear seat passengers are going to be very, very happy in the back. Now, you do have a coat hanger. Obviously, if you got that black tie affair, you got to wear your tux jacket. You can put the jacket on the back of your seat. Pretty decent pocket in the back. You could put 2, maybe 3 British scones. And the good news is that they'll be readily available for your rear seat passengers. You do have your AC vents, heated seats, 3 stages, but no ventilated seats. And that's an issue at $75,000, but they do give you a 12 volt. So that's nice little touch, but no USB. How is there no USB on a $75,000 car? That to me is kind of mind blowing. But they do have this nice little organizer. This is an optional organizer. This is where you could keep all your James Bond DVDs and VHS tapes. Maybe you got Goldfinger, Octopussy. Yes, that was the name of a title. Don't flag my comment. Don't flag the video because I said Octopussy. That's the name of a James Bond movie. Just so you know. You can keep all those right here, easily accessible. Pull the armrest down. It's actually pretty soft. Compared to some of the BMWs that I've sat in. I just am shocked that there's no USB back here. That means you're gonna have to go to Target, or Target as some people call it, get yourself a 12 volt USB adapter so that you can plug in your freaking phone. Mind blowing. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the cargo area and see what's back there and how much room we have in this Velar. All right, guys, rear cargo area. Very simple, just hit the button. You have nice electric assist. Now, one thing you'll notice is that we have the rear bumper very, very high. Remember, not only do you have adaptive suspension, but you also have that adaptive air ride suspension. And what's really cool is like, let's say you're done being a spy and going about your business as 007 and you got to do some of the normal things like pick up the groceries for the fam. Watch this. From the press of a button, because of the air suspension, we could actually just lower. Look at how I'm lowering the rear of the vehicle all by the press of a button. These are the touches that Range Rover is known for. Now we're in fully low position. Now we could talk about the cargo. Nice wide opening. Because we're not trying to cram in a third row, it really allows flexibility and usability of that cargo area. You're looking at 34.4 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Obviously, if you need to maximize space, those seats can easily fold down. And what's great is that we do have, of course, the James Bond edition Twinkie cargo net. Of course, for those British Twinkies, put the box right there. There's our buttons for raising and lowering the rear of the vehicle. And then the rest of the width is great. Plus, it's got a pretty decent height, even though we have that low, sexy roof line. But you know what? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go chase after Dr. No and go on throttle in this Range Rover. All right, guys, we left Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. We're in this 2023 Range Rover Velar. Right away, you're just gonna really like all the finishes in here. And I'm telling you right now, these seats are superb. Very, very comfortable. Obviously don't have a ton of bolstering because this isn't really a performance-oriented Range Rover, but just super comfy. Steering feels great. Have it in dynamic mode, which is gonna be sport, and that's gonna adjust the steering feel, throttle sensitivity, how the engine and the transmission behaves with one another. Visibility is great, but let's get to the big question. What about on throttle, especially with it being a 4-banger turbo? But here we go. On throttle. Not the quickest, obviously, and it wasn't meant to be a race SUV. I just would be curious to drive this one with the 6, because you can get this with the larger 6-cylinder engine, which I think would be the way to go preferably. But if speed is nothing of a worry to you, I think this would be just fine for your daily commuting. It's very, very quiet, very smooth shifting, Getting to everything is well within reach, and I promise that once you get a hang on how to use the infotainment and the AC controls and stuff, it's not complicated whatsoever. But let's go ahead, go on throttle, see how it handles in some twisties. On throttle, here we go. So here we are at highway cruising speed, and still very, very quiet in the cabin. Very composed. Brakes feel great. Obviously, you're gonna get some body roll there, but the adaptive air suspension does a great job of keeping things very well organized as you're going through a turn. And then you have the all-wheel drive, so that really allows you to feel comfortable, confident, and safe all at the same time. But really a unique driving experience when you're driving a Range Rover. And if you're noticing the screens are flashing, don't freak out. That's just how the camera picks up the display. They're not actually really flashing. So don't think that, you need to go take it into the shop. Everything is working fine with the screens. But like I said, for $75,000, I was just expecting a little bit more. A little bit more performance, a little bit more technology, like a head-up display and a full digital display. But let's go on throttle again from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. So like I was saying, the 8-speed does a great job of keeping it smooth with the shifts. I just would like a little bit more oomph. 300 horsepower bare minimum should be in this Range Rover Velar. But everything else, like I said, if you're looking for a British take on luxury, this really does check off so many boxes. And on the outside, the shape, it's not, you're not going to confuse it with any other vehicle out there. But I'm hoping that this has been a nice overall review of the Velar. We're going to get back to Land Rover St. Pete and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one kind of 007 day here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. I definitely want to thank Miro, Jeff, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2023 Range Rover Velar. Let me know what you think. Has Range Rover done enough to compete against other Euro luxury SUVs like the BMW X5? Or are you gonna go a different route? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rides family. We gotta give it up to Stephen Flood Photography, taking a couple days off, working on an easier schedule, but he's back and he's better than ever. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.